Johnny Mac with your daily comedy news. Did you see Maggie Haberman's new book, Confidence Man, revealed that in 2020, President Trump wanted to unbutton his shirt to reveal a Superman t-shirt upon his emergence from Walter Reed Hospital. Remember he was treated for COVID that night? Yeah. Jimmy Kimmel said, unfortunately, they couldn't find underoos in size XXL. Seth Meyers said, Trump reportedly told aides he wanted to exit the hospital in a wheelchair and then stand up to reveal a Superman shirt, just like Superman would never do. Bert Kreischer will tape his next Netflix special in November in Omaha, Nebraska. That's over where Larry the Cable Guy lives. Maybe Larry will pop by. Kreischer promises it will be his funniest one yet. He says, I've been working on this material longer than most specials, considering that I was also working throughout the pandemic when other comics weren't working. I've been sitting on this material for a lot longer, so I feel like I've had time to let it marinate, mature, and blossom. Kreischer said, the key to a successful stand-up special is maximizing laughs per minute. I've heard that term before. And here's his advice. Start with a big laugh, follow that with an even bigger laugh, and make sure you keep it up for an hour. That's great advice. So be funny, then be even funnier, and then do that for an hour. I like it. He says, don't repeat yourself. Say every word once, and if you tell a story, make sure it has an ending. Tom Segura's book, I'd Like to Play Alone, Please, was reviewed by the AV Press, and their review says it is a stereotypical masculine tour de force with farts, football, and a third thing starting with F that's not fit to print. I wonder what that is. Occasionally interrupted by completely disarming, heartfelt sentiments, then followed by more poop jokes. They say some chapters won't be new for fans of Tom's stand-up. He writes the tale of his accidental overdose in nearly exactly the same way he tells it on stage. And if you're looking to relive Segura highlights, like his infamous dunking injury or that time he met Mike Tyson, they're there too. His essays explore his childhood, times that he's bombed, and which of his sons is his favorite, and why, in well-thought-out prose that tells each story in a quirky, inherently Segura manner. The book is funny, surprising, and even sweet at times. Some of the most offensive sections result in the best punchlines, though it's up to the reader to determine if it's worth it. For those casual Tom Segura book people who are going to be like, oh my, this is so shocking. Hardcore Segura fans will be right at home, while others caught unaware will be demanding refunds. Segura is polarizing that way, they write. Again, how did you wind up accidentally buying this book? We never talk about Hasan Minhaj on this podcast, right? Well, Yahoo interviewed him. But this interview was a little deeper than most. I thought it was interesting. He told NBC News, for me, the sobering realization that I had coming out of the whole Saudi Arabia situation was the things that I do can cause pain and damage to the people that I care the most about. And that's not fair to them because they didn't get to vote on it. They don't get to be an editor in my comedy, my choices. They also didn't sign up for it. They're just getting to live through daddy's decisions. He says the new special was an analysis of why I do and say what I do. And I think the reason why I want to talk about this now is because it's a moment where I'm entering a new chapter in my life. To me, great comedy is the art of confession. It's the art of actually risking something, and I wanted to kind of confess that to the audience. During the pandemic, he moved from Manhattan to Greenwich, and he said, we just wanted to reverse gentrify. For me, what's important about the role of the jester in society is that they have an opportunity to show the king the truth, but the jester also must walk a fine line. And for me, it wasn't about to find that line vis-a-vis what I tell dictators or autocrats. It was actually more of a personal look at what my line is vis-a-vis my family, what lines I'm willing to draw and keep them safe and to keep my marriage healthy and happy. Like all week, I've been telling you, I haven't seen all these new specials that came out. Look, the Mets are in the playoffs. That never happens, so I got to watch the Mets. FIFA came out. I got to watch Dragon. I got to watch Andor. I got to watch Lord of the Rings. There's football 3 nights a week. I got to watch Hasan Minhaj, TJ Miller, Matt Bronger, Nick Kroll, and now Bobby Kelly has a new stand-up special. Whew. This one directed, produced, and edited by one Louis C.K. And Louis C.K. is making Bobby Kelly's special available on his website. That's Louis C.K.'s website, starting today, which is also Robert Kelly's birthday. Happy birthday, Robert Kelly. Speaking of Nick Kroll, whose special I didn't watch, the Wall Street Journal, your home for comedy news, spoke to Nick Kroll. He talked about starting out at Georgetown University. I majored in history, but I wasn't engaged in my studies during my freshman year. I saw a flyer for the Funniest Act on Campus contest, and I decided to enter. I bombed, but the guy who won, Mike Birbiglia. And Birbiglia noticed I bombed funny after. He told me he was putting on a sketch show with some friends. I auditioned and got in. I said to myself, this is the thing I'm good at. This is the thing I love. The following year, we went up to New York to see the Upright Citizens Brigade Theater. We did improv workshops with different teachers and performers. When I graduated, I took classes at UCB and performed at every stand-up show I could find. The Atlantic City Comedy Festival, today and tomorrow. Guess where it is? That's right, Atlantic City, New Jersey. Who's performing today, Saturday? Some more. Gary Owen, Tommy Davidson, Corey Holcomb, Bruce. Tomorrow, Dominique, Lavelle Crawford, Desi Banks, Carlos Miller, Luenell, and Don D.C. Curry. That's pretty solid. The Atlantic City Comedy Festival, Boardwalk Hall, Atlantic City. Today and tomorrow. Tickets start at $59. More information, accomedyfestival.com. The laugh button reminded us of the little brouhaha between Weird Al and Coolio. This came up recently when Coolio passed away. The laugh button reminds us, as a general rule of thumb and an act of courtesy, Weird Al makes sure to get the artist to sign off on all the parodies he does. While he is legally protected and able to parody any song he'd like without permission, he still honors the artist by getting that permission. So Al reached out to Coolio because he wanted to do Amish Paradise to Gangsta's Paradise. Of course, somebody should have asked Stevie Wonder about the original, but that's besides the point. According to Al, he spoke to two people from his own record label who said they approached Coolio at a party and that Coolio was Coolio with the parody. However, Coolio said that when he was approached by his own record label, he said no. As a result, Coolio was very vocal about being disapproving of the song when it came out. He even dissed Weird Al in a 1997 song called Throwdown 2000. In the song, he referenced, quote, uppercuts and fight kicks with Weird Al Yankovic. Weird Al said after Coolio publicly took issue with the song, he wrote him a sincere apology letter. However, he never heard anything back. The pair made up in 2006. Coolio told the story to Vice in 2014, said, I apologize to Weird Al. I was wrong. Y'all remember, everybody out there who reads this stuff, real men and real people should be able to admit when they're wrong, and I was wrong, bro. Come on, who the F am I, bro? He did parodies of Michael Jackson. He did parodies of all kinds of people, and I took offense to it because I was being cocky and stuff and being stupid, and I was wrong, and I should have embraced that stuff and went with it. I listened to it a couple years after that. It's actually funny as stuff. It's one of those things where I made a wrong call and nobody stopped me. It's one thing I'm still upset about, my management at the time. Somebody should have stopped me from making that statement because it was dumb. I think it hurt a little bit. Made me seem stupid. When Coolio passed away, Weird Al took to Twitter and shared a photo of them hugging it out in 2006. Speaking of Coolio, he will appear in Futurama. On Futurama, Coolio portrays Kwanzaa and a few weeks before his death, he had recorded some Kwanzaa VO for an episode that will appear in the latest incarnation of Futurama, returning yet again. The episode will be dedicated to Coolio and feature him rapping over the credits. And that's your comedy news for today. You can follow the show for free on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, wherever you get your shows. See you tomorrow.